I definitely don't have any natural talent because I tried the art way for a while and I was like,
Yeah.
and the artist I work for example, he's not a formal artist. He's actually a software engineer as well. But he said one day to me, he's like, hey, I get home from work and I just want to do something creative. He's like, I think I want to learn how to make art. And
Hmm.
so I was like, hey, I'm doing something right now. Like, want to just work together?
Yeah.
And so he's not like a formal artist or anything, but he's improved like dramatically since we started.
You could spend 20 minutes on a drawing, post it online, and get a mountain of praise. Or you could spend months or even years working on an indie game, release it, and get ripped apart in the reviews. That's just the nature of the industry. Every frame of an indie game is an expression of these indie developers. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Indie Neighbor, the show where I interview other independent game developers. Today, I'm talking to Ethan Stringham about his game Tome of Talis, a dice conquest game. Looks like a adventure game using dice mechanics. But let's dive into this. So, take it away, Ethan.
Yeah, it's super great to be on here and
Thank you.
take this interview. I guess just kind of like to explain Tome of Talis really briefly. It is a strategic roguelike about building armies of dice and pitting them against other armies of dice and destroying them with cool spells and relics and all sorts of fun synergies.
Cool. What I'm looking at here is, essentially every screen I'm seeing is in the pages of kind of a book setting. So tell me about this book a little bit.
Yeah. Basically, the way it works is you're a novice commander trying to learn how to become uh, a great one, like Commander Talis, who is someone who was way before your time. And in this world, Commander Talis' spirit lives inside of this magical book. Um, and so the game kind of takes place in this setting where you're um, you're kind of like reading the book, but in reality you're kind of playing it
Yeah.
to learn how to become like him. And if you manage to defeat all of the monsters and creatures Tome of Talis fought in his life, then he'll honor you with a duel to prove that you're worthy to command his army.
Dude, this sounds awesome. I like it. So when you're saying this, I'm imagining like, I went into a cave or something and I just found this like ancient book. I open it up, and it's like I'm reading through stuff, but it's also this game, and maybe like with it was like some dice, and so I'm rolling the dice, and then I'm discovering that this book is just full of like magical powers, and it's all run by this like sorcerer or something like that. Yeah, I totally dig that. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, we wanted to like when we first started working on the game. Basically, I primarily work on it, but I have a artist who helps me here and there,
Mhm.
and we talked about it. And we wanted to do something kind of in the realm of dark fantasy, um, but we didn't want to, just do like a dungeon crawl or something, since so many games did that. And
Yeah,
so, after a bunch of iterations, we came up with this idea of like, what if it's kind of like a story you're reading, but also playing? And I think it's turned
cool.
out really well. So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that idea is really compelling. Is are you? Is it just you, or do we see kind of a cut scene where there's a character that discovers the book, or is that just like up to the player to interpret like who is reading the book, or is it just supposed to be you that's reading it? Is there anything there?
Yeah, so that's actually something that we're still talking about and like kind of working on.
Hmm.
deciding what feels most thematically correct. Um, but like if you booted up the game right now, you hear like the sounds of someone walking up in like a kind of damp dungeony
Hmm.
environment, and then just like the torch lights and you see the book and everything.
Yeah.
Um, and so right now we kind of have kept it a little bit like hidden what your character looks like because we want it to feel like it's you, the player.
Hmm.
Um, but once you get into the game, we show kind of just this like all dressed up knight as your commander, which we hope players can feel like, oh, I'm the cool guy in the armor, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So when I'm looking at it, it's generally kind of UI driven game, which I think you could expect. And I want to say probably hugely inspired by like Dungeons and Dragons. Your classic dice, the feeling of a dice based adventure game to this. Did you have any thoughts there about how that should play out?
Yeah, so it's interesting that you mentioned things like Dungeons and Dragons, because that was definitely one of the major kind of like motivations to make this kind of game, as well as I think there's lots of big card games that have come out in recent years, like Slay the Spire.
Yeah,
Um, we've seen things like um, just other interesting roguelites that have taken mechanics like Balatro,
yeah,
um, and uh, I guess Tome of Talis, the idea for it kind of came from a bunch of different directions at once.
mhm,
On one hand, I've been a game master for D&D and a bunch of other RPG
yeah.
systems for over a decade now,
Yeah.
and so tons of like tabletop,
Okay. Yeah.
experience
So
there.
you're a professional like at this kind of thing. Like you know your stuff.
I hope so. You never
Yeah.
know. I always, I mean, I've done it a ton.
Yeah.
I hope I'm good, but
Yeah.
players always say that have a fun time.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
then from like a very opposite end in the video game realm, um, I've just seen so many roguelites come out, and I always thought, every time someone does dice,
Hmm.
they always just keep it the numbers, and it's always like a roguelite about Yahtzee or a roguelite about, you just roll the dice and then you stick them in the slots, and it's just numbers.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that was so odd because in the board game realm, so many board games have custom dice with like swords on them and
Hmm.
shields and stuff uh, that tell you what happens when you roll. And so I kind of thought, what if I made a game where um, the focus is on all these dice and modifying the sides of the dice so that they play into your strategy. Um,
Kind of like deck
and
builder, but with dice, kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's just interesting because I spent before I worked on this game, I had it in my head for about a year, and I just kept thinking, someone's already got to have done this. This feels so obvious to me, like this could be like a smash hit.
Hmm.
Um, and I just kept thinking about it, and then finally um, I entered a game jam and just made a little prototype of it, and I got a lot of positive comments. And so I thought, hey, I still haven't seen anyone actually make anything like this. So
Hmm.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and spend the next 9 months to produce it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's surprising. Uh, that's the way things are. Sometimes you're like, I feel like this should be done, and then you do your research, and you're like, nah, I guess not. I'm doing it. Um,
yeah.
I so the demo is currently available right now. So
Hmm.
anybody could go try out the demo currently, and I suggest that you do so. Um, the I think it, you know, I think we could probably talk about it for a really long time, but I like to break this show up into kind of a bit on the game. Then I like to talk about you, the developer, and then if there's anything we missed, we can come back to it later. So let's talk a little bit about you. Where are you currently located?
Yeah, I live in Idaho, um, which I've been here for the past few years, um, just kind of on the like southern side of it, and it's been a really nice place.
Cool. You grew up in Idaho or Midwest, kind of.
I'm from Utah, but
Hmm.
I came here for college,
Yeah.
and then I met a wonderful girl and married her. So
Cool.
she's still in college, so we're just up here for now. But um, once she graduates, we could move pretty much anywhere. So
Yeah. So what do you? Is this your full time thing, or what do you do for work? Like aside from games, or
yeah, so right now this is my full time job. I just wake up. I honestly put in probably like 60 hours a week, so
oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty more than full time.
yeah,
Um, but before that, I worked for a company called Space Station, and uh, they have a whole bunch of different brands. But I specifically worked on building rendering tools for animations in Unreal Engine,
cool.
um, as well as Fortnite experiences, which was a little bit of a weird mix, but
Hmm, hmm.
I did a lot of odd jobs, I guess you could say, for them in like Unreal Engine. Helped make kids cartoons called A for Adley, um,
Cool.
and similar work. So
So do you have a background in computer science, or are you full technical on that side? Did you study computer science in college? Is that where you're coming from?
yeah, so I guess I'll start even earlier than that. I guess
Yeah,
so. I come from a family of game designers and
cool.
developers, um, which is like a super awesome background.
Hmm.
Um, and so like when I was like 12, I just started teaching myself how to program
Yeah.
because I thought like, oh, I want to be like everyone else in my family. I want to be making stuff, and everyone in my family either chose to be an artist or like a programmer. So
Oh
I was
man,
the one.
that's yeah,
Yeah, I was the one kid who chose to be a programmer. I think that made my dad happy because everyone else went artist.
yeah.
Um, but so I've been making little games for over a decade at this point. But then I went to college, got a degree in software engineering, which has been super helpful because it helps broaden my horizons outside of just like the game focused stuff.
Yeah,
Um, Nowadays I can program websites, I can make almost anything,
yeah.
and it's silly because like when you're thinking game dev, you think, oh, uh, I just need to know how to make a game well. But it's like having all these extra skills like database management come in handy, or now I can make a website to promote my own game,
Hmm.
editing skills, all those sorts of things. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I've been doing a lot of that, and then for a while I was a volunteer um, for an organization, and I helped manage their databases and uh, um, helped keep train new people on that sort of technology and stuff. So
So, you're young. You say you come from a family of game developers. Is that video games, or was that like board games, and then you said they're also most of them were actually artists. So,
hmm
like when you say that you were the first one to kind of do programming, was it you really were the first one? They're all uh, very artistic, or how was that?
yeah, so yeah, my dad was a programmer, but
Hmm.
I have a bunch of sisters, and all my sisters became artists, and
Ah,
so I was the only one to like follow in my dad's footsteps, so to speak. But
yeah,
um, yeah, so I come from a family of mostly game designers for video games. Like my dad, he worked on Disney Infinity, um,
cool.
and my sisters, they worked. I also helped work on this a little bit, but Animal Jam, which was like this like online um, little MMO for kids to play and be animals and stuff, similar
Yeah,
to like Club Penguin,
yeah,
um, and uh, a lot of just kind of like other projects. We all started out as mostly video games, but like one of my sisters, she is now published and is about to publish a second board game.
cool.
Um, some of us were working on like our own tabletops, just lots of stuff all in that realm. So
Yeah, you could throw out the name of like where to find her games or something like that. Do a shout out for it.
yeah, let me just make sure I got it all right real quick. But
Yeah,
uh, her website, I believe, is thunderfinchgames.com.
cool.
.com. And the game that she had published is called Faction Fighters, um, which is this little cool game about it's kind of got like a very similar to Pokemon vibe, but you have a deck of these little Pokemon kind of guys, and they fight each other in an arena. Um, and you try and like win tournaments to get prizes and stuff. So it's a really fun two-player um, game that like me and my wife enjoy every now and then. So
Cool, cool. Back to you. Like, so I know you mentioned that you're working with an artist for um, Tome of Talis, and how do you feel about the art? And then you've got these sisters who are artists. Like, do you feel at all drive to like? Are you one of these guys that's like, I don't touch art, or do you feel like you got some basics?
yeah, um, I feel like I was not blessed with an artistic bone in my body. I'm super bad at art, and
Yeah,
like I know it's obviously one of those things that like if you do it, you get good, right? But
yeah,
um, I definitely don't have any natural talent because I tried the art way for a while and I was like, and
yeah.
the artist I work for example, he's not a formal artist. He's actually a software engineer as well. But he said one day to me, he's like, hey, I get home from work and I just want to do something creative. He's like, I think I want to learn how to make art. And
Hmm.
so I was like, hey, I'm doing something right now. Like, want to just work together?
Yeah.
And so he's not like a formal artist or anything, but he's improved like dramatically since we started, which is super awesome. But while I don't have much like individual art skill, there's certain parts of art I really appreciate and have been improving at. Um, like I most of almost all of the effects in the game. So like when dice explode when they die, or the commander shaking when he takes damage, shaders, stuff like that. I write and I've put together. So I guess I would say like I'm really interested and passionate about a lot of like the more procedural aspects of art.
Hmm.
But like if you ask me to sit down and draw a painting or something, like you're gonna get like a stick figure.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I'm looking at it, and it's got this kind of, I don't know, this cool vibe to it where um, parts of it are kind of sleek UI, but then there's also images that are really classic pixel art um, that feel really retro. Um,
hmm
so it's a you guys are making it work with these different styles, and something about it's pretty cool. What's the name of your artist, that the other partner on the project?
Yeah, his name's Jordan, and we've been friends for since high school. So
Yeah.
got a lot of like stuff going back there. And it's interesting to say that because like from the get go, we both talked about it, and we were both like, okay, like neither of us are going to be making like Mona Lisas or anything, right? And so
Hmm.
we decided we looked at like games that people consider to have like bad art.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing about like bad art is it's not actually bad because it's got a really cohesive look to it. And that matters more than having like super flashy everything. Just making it all feel good. Like 8-bit games can still look really good, even though the art is on a technical level very simple.
Hmm.
Um, and so a lot of our prototyping in the art department was just like, okay, what's something that we can do consistently that will look good and fit with the other pieces, um, and not take us like a whole month to to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where having a whole bunch of family members who are artists professionally comes in
Hmm.
handy. Pretty
Hmm.
much like every other day, I'm sending them something like, "Hey, look at this. Does this look good?"
Hmm.
And then they critique it to bits and send it back, and I'm like, "Okay, we'll redo that one."
Hmm.
So even though they're not directly working on the game, I have a lot of really good play testers and just people who are able to give me feedback, which I really appreciate.
Cool. Um, and then I feel like you're probably a wizard on the coding side. Like you could code anything. Like this, I can tell. This is an organizational masterpiece. Like, lots of menus, really well organized, but definitely like feels like it's got the depth of like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. Um, so again, I if you're in, dude, if you're into kind of tabletop games and adventure games and Dungeons and Dragons, definitely go check this out. I think, yeah. So I think we could move into some ending stuff. I like to ask if there's anything you want the players to know, like when you have playtesters. Is there any like bottlenecks that you see playtesters get stuck in, like something that you want the play anybody who opens it up and they're like, I don't know where the start button is, like anything like that you want to help the audience with?
Yeah, this is a kind of an interesting question because this has been like uh, super focus of our most recent like sprint to get an update out. Um, like playtesters recently came to me and said, "Hey, the tutorial is a little bit confusing,"
Mhm.
which I don't blame them because um, the game is I think fairly complex in some places. I don't
Yeah.
think it's hard to pick up because it's pretty. The basic actions are pretty simple. You know, you place the dice, you watch them roll, they fight, you maybe cast a spell,
Hmm.
um, but trying to find ways to um, make sure people are aware of all the crazy interactions of how does poison work, how does freeze interact with poison, because there's a hidden synergy there where
Yeah.
when units are poisoned, they take damage if they do something on that turn, but freeze stops them from taking a turn, and so
Yeah.
you can actually save your own dice with that.
Hmm.
Um, and so getting that across to the players has been something we focused on, and um, something really awesome. I actually just finished it this morning. We're adding a replay button to the next update, so you can rewatch the last round of combat and figure out what happened.
Cool.
Um, and so I would say just like uh, if things are confusing, I have like my Discord linked inside the game. Like, reach out to me because I am super, super uh, like focused on just making that experience as easy as possible. Um, and yeah, just like look forward for more updates to quality of life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, forward me that Discord link. I'll put it in the description of this video. Because definitely, join the Discord if you like this game. Join the Discord, give him feedback, help him shape the next evolution of the game. Make sure it's the best game possible. Um, I think if that's it, we could wrap it up there. This has been an awesome talk with Ethan Stringham about his game Tome of Talis. And if you guys like these videos, definitely check out some of my other interviews. And thanks for watching.